Hey, time travelers! You may or may not have heard about the Pentagon releasing certain information about UFOs recently in the news. And, well, I'm going to be discussing that in this video. Is it real? Is it a hoax? Are they just pulling our chain? Are we going to get technology, precious new technology for the aliens? Should you care? Well, I have my opinion, and maybe after this video, you'll have your own opinion. Actually got the idea to make this video from a new friend on the YouTubes called halomcr, and he was complimenting me on my how to check your Facebook number if it was leaked video, and he said he would love it if I did a video on UFOs or something crazy. And I thought about it, I'm like, yeah, I got opinions on that. I could talk on that. So getting started into the video, I've got this article from the New York Times we can talk about. It says the Pentagon released UFO videos. Don't hold your breath for a breakthrough. Hey, what are you doing here? You're not in this scene. Hey, sweet subscribe pillow. What's up with that? It's kind of earlier in the video to be talking about subscribing, but you know, subscribe, whatever. For shenanigans, I guess. Yeah, subscribe. But what's up with the aluminum foil hat? Because governments and conspiracies and stuff. Dude, better get out of here before something happens and we synchronize and I end up wearing that stupid thing. Anyways, back to this article. What? Get out of here, guy! Booger face. Fine. Alright, where was I? On Monday, the Department of Defense formally released 3 Navy videos that contain unidentifiable aerial phenomena. Enthusiasts were encouraged, though there was nothing new. I could have guessed it. The Department of Defense confirmed what seekers of extraterrestrial life have long hoped to be true. They're real. Hold on. What's your opinion on this? The Pentagon said they saw unidentified aerial phenomena. Unidentified. So the Pentagon says they saw something, but they don't know what it was. And now this article's saying they're real? Real what? Are they tubes of cardboard? Are they time travelers from the future? Like me? Navy videos have driven speculation about unidentified flying objects for years, saying it meant to clear up any misconceptions about whether the unclassified footage was real or complete. It's real, the Pentagon said, including links so the curious could download the footage for themselves. Okay, I've been seeing stuff like this on TV since the 90s. This article goes on to say the videos were captured by naval aviators. They show objects hurtling through the sky, one rotating against the wind, and pilots can be heard expressing confusion and awe. Well, I'm gonna stop this article right there. And you'll see why, because I've got all these other things I want to talk about up here. People have always been seeing stuff they don't know what it is for ages. And they've been trying to rationalize or come up with their own stories, and some of them have been conspiracies. Make sure he doesn't come in on that cue. The Pentagon's release cheered enthusiasts in the search for extraterrestrial life, even though experts caution that earthly explanations usually exist for such sightings. I want to go that far. Now, here's another article. By the way, these are all linked in the description below. CNN says Pentagon officially releases UFO videos. The Pentagon has officially released 3 short videos showing unidentified aerial phenomenon that had previously been released by a private company. Oh, it was leaked, so we're going to say that we had these videos actually. That's what that says. These videos show what appear to be unidentified flying objects. I was taught this by watching conspiracy TV when I was a kid. An unidentified flying object is something that is flying. It is an object, and we don't know what it is. Don't get worked up over it, guys. Let's move on to the next article, because some people are talking about all this great technology that aliens might bring us. We're an alien from the future, and we might bring people future cool technology. Just because I'm a time traveler from the future doesn't mean I'm going to bring great future technology to people from other planets, maybe. And you've got a mic, so stop yelling. Why? I'm not wearing a mic. God. I haven't even looked at this article yet, but it says the government wants to know if these unidentified objects pose military threat, but they also represent an opportunity to advance science and technology. How? So we've been seeing unidentified things for ages. What's gonna change now that's gonna give us fancy technology. Are we gonna get the technology, or a private organization gonna get it, or the government maybe? Or is the government too fractured and broken up into separate entities and that may or may not be competing with each? Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. Moving on. I'm gonna show you a little bit of stuff that stupid other me blowing his nose. Gross! How long was that booger in my stash? This is a History Channel What's It article. Huge, hovering, and silent, the mystery of black triangle UFOs. I'm gonna cue you into something that I learned while binge watching YouTube over the years. Blah, 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 blah article. You can read it if you want. They got this generic rendering of a triangle that's flying and it's got the 3 dots below it. An illustration depicting a triangle UFO. Between 1983 and 1986, a notable rash of mass sightings occurred in New York's Hudson Valley, some 50 miles. Blah, blah, blah. Exceeded the limits of conventional aviation by how it flew. Right. I want to keep going back in time, you know, because that just said that was 1983 and 1986. This is a picture I found on the internet of a TR-3B. Now, honestly, it doesn't look quite real because the shading isn't quite right on this surface here. But then videos I saw of eyewitness testimonies who saw this thing in person said that it was weird, like looking at something that wasn't really there because of how light didn't reflect off of it properly. And there's a top view, side view, bottom view, and there's the 3 things. But apparently it's a government craft. Flown out of Area 51 of all places, blah, blah, blah. And here's another article. The TR-3B Aurora is supposedly a classified military aircraft that can not only exceed Mach 10, but can also travel into space. Blah, blah, blah. Now, you'll have to do your own homework on this, but I saw eyewitness testimony video of someone who worked on Area 51, and his non-disclosure agreement only included the stuff he worked on. So he was allowed to talk about stuff he accidentally saw that wasn't stuff he worked on, you know? So he was like, you don't have to be careful. The government's watching you and you might find out you're talking about this. The government's always watching you. Stop it! More concerned about private organizations like Google or Facebook spying on everything I freaking have because they didn't go, they leak it. And you know, if they sell it and then they leak it. You know, you can click the card up here to see my video about Facebook leaking everybody's freaking phone numbers. And by everybody, I mean 533 or so million people. Let's go back in time some more since we're time travelers, lol. Here's a diagram and you see electromagnetic panels. You see Tesla coil. Tesla. Nikola Tesla. More on him later. So this video I saw from this guy, and I can't remember his name. You have to use your Google powers because I couldn't find it in the like 2 hours that I cared to set up this outline of this video. But anyways, they took, and by they, people at Area 51, took the crashed spaceship from Roswell and tore it apart and found this big coil. And when they plugged it in, it levitated. So then they tried to figure out how to use it as a craft. And in order to do that, they had to build a nuclear reactor in the middle that powered these 3 propulsion units to keep it level. Okay? Okay? Follow with me? Is your brain caught up? If not, you can back on the video and watch that part again because I'm moving on with my life. Now I'm going to talk about Otis T Carr. He was this guy who built a flying saucer thingy, what's it, in the 30s. You notice a trend here? I'm going backwards in time. And there's some diagrams that are randomly in the Google image search with this guy. He didn't invent it. This guy did. But more about Otis T Carr and his flying saucer. Here's an article that you can read. According to Otis Carr, any vehicle accelerated to an axis rotation relative to its attractive initial mass immediately becomes activated by a free space energy and acts as an independent force. We have shown that a changed body accelerated to an axis rotation relative to its attractive initial mass indicates a polarity of given direction. Huh? It's talking about canceling mass. And it was about having magnets go in one direction that are like on the bottom, and then the top, different kind of magnets going the other direction, and then a point system, which is the same that's in a car's engine. Yes, it's a true thing, so that you can change the polarity of the magnets as they move from positive to negative, making the magnets attract and then repel, so it makes the circles keep going until they cancel each other out. And there's some diagrams he's got of his stuff. Read the article yourself, it's linked in the description. And then there's Otis Carr again, and he's got that special magnet in his hand, and he's talking about it, blah, blah, blah. In some of his videos, he talked about how he tried to patent this thing, and the patent office wouldn't let him do it, and they sent men in black to his warehouse where he built it, and they tore it apart and said, "You're trying to overthrow the international banking system, blah, 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 blah." If there's any conspiracy, I bet you guys can find it in there. I told you there was a conspiracy! Shut up! Moving on. Ralph King kind of like inherited the stuff from Otis Carr, and he wrote this pretty interesting article. He says, he claims to have helped build and flown a man-made flying saucer controlled by mental telepathy in the early 1960s. But these efforts through a company called OTC Enterprises were shut down and its materials confiscated by the government. He says, for fear of breaking up the society's monetary system. Since then, Ring and his associates have worked on rebuilding their ships to bring free energy to the world. Ooh, more on free energy in the video later. Ring and his wife, Marcia, speak publicly throughout the country about this and liberating mankind from corporate servitude. Going back in time more. Hope you guys know who Nikola Tesla is. If not, you need to be freaking educated, because he invented practically almost everything we use technology-wise. He can, not transistors, but a lot of stuff that go into electronics, he invented the components inside of them. And that's what he looks like. He's this guy. He's a friggin' genius! Who invented radio, for example. With his newly created Tesla coils, the inventor soon discovered that he could transmit and receive powerful radio signals when they were tuned to resonate at the same frequency. Resonate at the same frequency. Well, that's how the radio works. It uses amplitude modulation and frequency modulation. That's what AM and FM mean. When a coil is tuned to a signal of particular frequency, it literally magnifies the incoming electrical energy through resonant action. By early 1895, Tesla was ready to transmit a signal 50 miles to West Point, New York. But in the same year, disaster struck. A building fire consumed Tesla's lab. The timing could not have been worse. In England, a young Italian experimenter named Guglielmo Marconi, I know how to pronounce his last name, sorry, had been hard at work building a device for wireless telegraphy. Telegraphy? Telegraph. Telegraphy. I don't know how to say it! The young Marconi had taken out the first wireless telegraphy patent in 1896. My words are not working right now. It was only a two-circuit system, which some said could not transmit across the pond. Later, Marconi set up long-distance demonstrations using a Tesla oscillator to transmit the signals across the English Channel. More on that in Read It Your Dang Self. It's in the description. Tesla versus Edison. Who really invented the light bulb? I'll give you a hint so you can cheat on the test. It was Tesla. He worked for Edison, so he didn't really steal it. So, whatever. Why do I keep talking about Tesla? I'm getting to the point! Someday you'll look back on this moment fondly. Nikola Tesla, a world without wires. And blah, 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 blah. They talk about, I'm not gonna go deep into this tower that he built. Okay, and it looked like this, called the Wardenclyffe Tower. Okay. I forgot to have this image open, my bad. Hold on. Nikola Tesla, wireless light bulb. He figured out how to wirelessly transmit electricity to a light bulb. And you're just now enjoying your wireless charging stations for your smartphones. Like, look at me, I can charge it with no freaking wires, even though Apple doesn't let me use the same charge cable as an Android. Also this Wikipedia article for you to read. Right there. Designed and built by Nikola Tesla in Long Island in 1901 through 1902, located in the village of Shoreham, New York. He intended to transmit messages, telephony. I know that word, telephony. And even facsimile images. Sorry, I know these words because I'm in IT and they actually use these words in IT. The other word earlier was some other one. Well, that's a made-up word. All words are made up. It says here that additional investment could not be found and the project was abandoned in 1906. But there are stories about how Edison came with some other guys and blew up this tower with dynamite because he planned on transmitting free energy around the entire planet. Stupid! Add block, add in the way, okay. Free energy to the entire planet, as according to this. electrical charges within the Earth ionosphere sent by his thing, and he has this ground anchor that's able to get electricity from the Earth or something, or it grounds the Earth, I can't remember, and it sends a pulse around the planet, and he's got Tesla receivers all over the world. Tesla was an altruist, according to some theorists, that he wanted to do all these things. He even came up with the idea of having a portable device like this that had a wire plugged into a parasol, which is like this umbrella thing that women used way back in the 1900s, and that they could receive information about current events and the news on their mobile device. He wanted to change the world, and he did change the world. Moving on, a look into Nikola Tesla's research and patenting of a UFO. And you can read these articles on your own. Tesla's flying saucer. Look at that. Isn't that interesting? These are pictures from his patent. How does it work? The structure of Tesla's flying machine resembles both helicopter and aeroplane. It looks like a torpedo. This is because of the fact that the inner surface of the machine consists of circular channels. Circle all through the center of the craft. These channels carry high voltage and a high frequency coil. That coil we were talking about earlier that was turned into a TR-3B when they found it crashed and called it the Roswell's nonsense. Oh, I call it the Roswell nonsense. Resonant transformer is included in the design for giving electrostatic and electromagnetic load to the craft. This coil is placed inside the craft is called the Tesla coil, one among of Tesla's early inventions. So I think that should sum it up for this video. Are aliens visiting us? Maybe. Are they visiting us in those UFO pictures? No, probably not. But make your own opinion, and let's talk about it in the comments. Hey, other me. What? Other me, come here. You want to say goodbye to the peeps? But you told me that I'm not in this video. Well, you're already in this video. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Whatever. People should click like, and they should subscribe to the channel. Like. Subscribe. Oh, and they should comment below if they... Yeah, I told them to comment earlier. They can comment below. Yeah, if it's a conspiracy or if the government has their own UFOs, they fly around and stuff. Other me, Jiminy Christmas. Nah!